Hi everyone, welcome to today's Cyber Seniors webinar. Today we are going to be talking about ergonomics when you're using technology, so computers, tablets, and phones. But before we get started, I'm happy to say that today's webinar is sponsored by Breezeline. Breezeline is the 8th largest cable provider in the US. Breezeline offers internet, TV, and voice services to residents and businesses in 12 states. So we're so happy to have them on as a sponsor. And before we get started today with Ergonomics 101, here's a quick video from Breezeline.
Wi-Fi your way home, powered by Flume Home Pass. Technology that spreads ultra-fast Wi-Fi to every inch of your home. We make having a Wi-Fi supercharged home easy by including a SuperPod with your Wi-Fi gateway package. Learn more at breezeline.com.
All right, and if you want to learn more about all Breezeline has to offer, you can visit them online after this session at www.breezeline.com. You can also find that link below. All right, so let's jump right in. Ergonomics 101, enjoying tech without strain. So in this presentation, we're going to cover what ergonomics are, the importance of computer ergonomics, how to incorporate computer ergonomic practices into your everyday life. So first of all, a quick definition of what ergonomics is for those who may be unfamiliar with the term. So ergonomics is defined by the International Ergonomics Association as the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of interactions among humans and other elements of a system, and the profession that applies theory, principles, data, and methods to design in order to optimize human well-being and overall system performances. So in short, basically the interactions between people and their physical environments, especially physical environments that we create. So why is ergonomics important? Well, first of all, ergonomics focuses on comfort and efficiency when we're doing things. And this is especially important when we're talking about use of technology. Ergonomics can also help reduce the risk of musculoskeletal injury, otherwise known as MSI. So it's sprains and strains, back and neck and shoulder injuries, and just general discomfort that comes from doing things for long periods of time. It also reduces the risk of computer vision syndrome. And again, if you're unfamiliar with computer vision syndrome, also known as CVS, it's a name given to eye problems caused by prolonged computer use. So eye irritation like dry eyes, itchy eyes, and red eyes, but also blurred visions, headaches, and then backaches as well. So what are some risk factors for SMI? So those are those musculoskeletal injuries. So first of all, force. So exerting too much force on an object can be a risk factor for MSIs. Repetition, repeatedly using the same muscles over and over again without rest. So, that's something we do a lot when we're using computers, right? We're clicking, typing, and using the same small muscles over and over again, and that can cause strain. Work posture, so staying in the same position for a really long time can also cause problems. Not only just doing things quickly and moving about, that can cause injury, but also when we don't move, we also cause injury or pain. And also local contact stress, so hard or sharp objects coming into contact with the skin, so that may be sitting in the uncomfortable position on something that's not meant to be sat on for a really long time or anything like that. It's also important to consider with all of these things the magnitude of the injury, frequency, and duration of exposure. So, right, if I'm typing on my computer but I'm only doing it for about a minute, maybe some of these ergonomic things aren't as important, but when we get into longer term use of stuff, that's when it becomes really, really important to consider proper ergonomics. So as we said, it's super important when you're using technology to prioritize comfort and practice computer ergonomics if you regularly use technology. So here are some ways that you can actually incorporate computer ergonomics into your day-to-day life and avoid some of the things we just touched on. So one of the most important parts of proper computer ergonomics is your sitting position. If you set yourself up for success with a proper seating position to begin with, you're going to reduce your risk of injury or strain. So We'll use this little image over here on the right as an example of proper sitting posture. So your head, neck, and torso should be in line with one another. As you can see, we have some kind of good 90-degree angles here and proper lines. Your shoulders are low and relaxed, and your elbows are close to your body. So that's a few first tips on how to do that. Again, your forearms should be resting on your desk, or if you have armrests, they should be resting there. That will avoid bringing those shoulders up, which we just mentioned. Your knees and elbows, we talked about those angles, are at 90 degrees, so making a perfect 90-degree angle. Your wrists are straight and aligned with your forearms, and your feet are resting on the floor or a platform if you need one. If your chair happens to be higher, maybe it's a taller stool or something like that. So here's a closer look at that posture here. Now, here's some tips to achieve that proper posture, because I can say it, but how do you actually make sure you do that? So again, you want to keep your joints open slightly, so equal to or more than 90 degrees, so as we can see this. So that's why it's important to have a chair that has a nice upright sitting posture that allows you to catch your feet to the floor, but not so low that you need to angle your feet out more, so you can create those nice 90 degrees with your seating. Proper sitting position also kind of requires that you have a proper chair that has cushioned seats and a contoured front edge, as well as lower back support. So you can see the chair we're mentioning here, it has that lumbar support, that part near the lower back that sticks out to provide support. And you can see that the front edge of the seat kind of waterfalls off, allowing your legs to come off the seat and form that 90-degree angle without either being pushed up or being strained in any way. And that last part of having that kind of waterfall edge over the front edge of your seat is also important, because you do want to also keep a gap of width, which is the width of about 3 fingers between the back of your knees and the front edge of your chair. This gives you space to be able to, again, create that 90-degree angle without the end of the chair jutting into your calves, and allows you to sit more comfortably. Your upper arms and lower legs should be perpendicular to the floor, so you can see this man's arms from the shoulder are going straight down, perpendicular to the floor, and his legs are also his calves are also perpendicular to the floor, and that is supported by a chair that allows that position to happen. And then your forearms, so the lower part of your arms and your thighs, the upper part of your legs should be parallel to the floor. So if you have a perpendicular upper arm and a parallel lower arm, you're creating that 90-degree angle, right? It's also always about creating those proper angles. Now, what are the don'ts of proper sitting position? So you should avoid bending or tilting forward or to the side. Now, this being said, all these tips, if you're doing the do's, you'll probably avoid doing these don'ts. But yeah, avoid bending or tilting forward or to the side. Do not slouch, and do not sit longer than 15 minutes. So regardless of whether you're sitting properly or not, you could have the best sitting posture in the world. Sitting for long periods of time is still going to cause harm to your body. So not sitting for longer than 15 minutes. So take breaks between sitting. Other don'ts of sitting position is do not have your arms raised. So the easiest way to do this and to create that 90-degree angle and make sure that they're not raised is to make sure you have a proper place for them to rest. Either your computer is positioned kind of slightly farther on the table back than you need to be, so you can rest your arms on the table in front of you, or you sit on a chair that has armrests that allow you to rest your arms down. Do not bend your wrists. This is also made possible by having proper support for your arms, like armrests or a table. Don't cram your thighs under your desk. So if your desk is too short, that can happen. So you either need to be able to have a desk that you can adjust to the height of your chair, or a chair that you can adjust to the height of your desk. Do not sit on a chair with poor support. It's going to get uncomfortable to sit properly on a chair that doesn't support proper posture. So if you can get a proper chair. If you can't, you can kind of hack your way around this by adding pillows to the back of your chair to create that lumbar support, and also that it might allow you to sit a bit further in your chair so that you have that space between your knees and the chair on the front end, so you can create that 90-degree angle. Now, setting up your desk area will be key to making sure that you can avoid all those don'ts and do all those do's we just mentioned. So one big thing is position your computer screen so it's within your line of sight. You don't want your computer to be too high so you're looking up, or too low so you're craning your neck down and looking down. You basically want to be able to look almost entirely straight forward and be seeing your screen. This can be a bit more difficult if you're using a tablet or even a laptop, which may sit lower on your desk. If you're using a desktop computer like the one you see in this image, where it's kind of heightened off the desk, it's actually easier to achieve that. So in those cases, you may want to get a stand for your computer or a stack of books to do so. We're going to talk a bit more about actual products that can achieve these setups and goals later, but I'll just say that now so you know. Keep your mouse and other materials within reach. So your mouse, or if you have a water bottle or phone or whatever nearby, make sure they're within reach so you're not straining over, leaning over to get them, that everything is close by, and you can maintain your proper sitting position while doing them. Especially maybe you're writing notes, you want to make sure you don't have to lean over to do so. Make sure there's enough space under your desk for your legs to fit, so your legs to fit comfortably, for you to have that 90-degree angle on those legs, and so you don't have to flatten out those legs or straighten them out in order to fit them. Now let's talk about vision. So along with sitting properly can both help your vision, but also things that hurt your vision can stop you from sitting properly. So it's really key, and it kind of is a chicken and an egg situation. Poor vision conditions create poor sitting positions. Poor sitting positions can also create poor vision situations. So sit close enough, or adjust the font size of your computer on your computer screen or tablet screen so you can read text comfortably without having to lean forward. Position your screen so that there's no reflections obscuring your view. If you have a really glary screen, make sure that you're avoiding areas in your house or apartment that may cause glare, so that you can see the screen properly. Again, so you're not leaning forward or straining your eyes in order to see what's on your screen properly. Adjust your computer's brightness. Now, newer computers, tablets, and phones generally will have a feature where they auto adjust your brightness depending on the light quality in the room or in the place you are. So that should be taken care of, but there's still room for you to adjust it yourself. And if there's not, make sure you understand what the settings are on your device so that you can adjust the brightness. Because when it's really dark, you don't want your screen to be too bright. That can hurt your eyes, cause you to squint. And if your screen is too dark, that will cause you to do the thing where you again squint, but you also may lean forward, and that harms not only your eyes, straining them, but can get into your back and harm your posture as well. Blink fully and frequently to reduce your risk of dry eye. Looking at a screen for a really long time and focusing on anything for a really long time can cause dry eyes, itchy eyes. So make sure you're blinking and all that. And also just take breaks. Along with sitting, taking breaks, take breaks for your eyes. If you need to, look away from your computer screen for a minute or two every 15 minutes or so, just to make sure that you can readjust your eyes and get comfortable again. All right, to review kind of the things we just said and put it into more simple, broken down terms. So for your monitor, that is your computer screen or tablet or phone screen, adjust the distance and height. The top of the monitor should be slightly tilted, and it should allow you to look directly at the screen without having to look down or up to see it. Your arms, shoulders should be relaxed, forearms parallel to the floor with minimal bends of the wrists. So setting yourself up in that position so your wrists can remain straight. Your chair should have a backrest and, if possible, armrests and the ability to adjust height. that is ideal. Obviously, we don't always have access to that. Office chairs can be expensive, so hacking your way around that by putting pillows to provide lumbar support, by adjusting your desk height with books so your computer can sit higher so that you can do things that way, anything like that. Legs, your thighs should be parallel to the floor. Feet should also be parallel to the floor. If you need to use a footrest, say your chair is a bit higher and you don't have the ability to adjust, or your desk is higher so you had to adjust your chair higher in order to do that, have a footrest. Again, you can buy a footrest, but also you can do makeshift stuff, stacking books to make sure that you can create that 90-degree angle with your knees. Your head and neck should be balanced and in line with your torso. If you have to lean back or lean forward in order to see your screen properly, or when you're sitting, then that is not proper sitting posture. Your elbows are close to the body, tucked in, and bent between 90 and 120 degrees. So you don't have to do that perfect 90 degrees. Sometimes with the arms specifically, that can be a bit more challenging, but make sure you don't go below 90, above 120 on that angle so that it's nice and comfortable and relaxed. Another comment on the monitor here, adjusted so it's below your eye level so you don't bend your neck, so you can see it here, that we can look at it basically directly. And forearms, wrists, and hands are in straight line parallel with the floor. All right, so what we talked about a lot was kind of desk ergonomics, sitting at a desk, and generally it's going to be more applicable to using a computer. When we're using a phone and tablet, some different things apply because we're not always sitting at a desk, we're often holding it in our hands, so a few things to consider when using tablets and phones. Avoid holding your tablet or phone in your lap. So sitting with a tablet propped up on your legs, it may be comfortable for a couple minutes, but any longer you'll be straining yourself, your neck and back, right? Because when you're sitting it on your lap, you're gonna have to bend over to see your screen, and that's gonna become difficult. And then if you raise it up and you're holding it just with your hands so you can get a proper straight line vision to it, then that might become tiresome and fatigue your arms. So avoid that in general. Get a stand if you can. That's kind of the fix for this. If you're going to be using your devices for long periods of time, you should get some sort of stand to avoid strain and fatigue, so you can use it at a desk, as a desk or in a chair, or anything like that. Avoid touchscreen typing. So if you're planning to use your tablet for a lot of typing, you should consider getting an external keyboard to attach to it. There's basically no way that you can keep your eyes and forearms in the optimal sitting position while typing on a tablet, because you have to have them up here, right? So you're going to be scrunching your shoulders up. You're going to be moving your arms probably too far forward. And if you do have a proper typing position, your neck is going to be straining forward in order to see the screen. It's just not possible. Next thing is to beware of glare. So tablets and phones, they do tend to have glossier displays than computers sometimes. So if the glare this creates can affect how we position ourselves. So try to find a spot with no glare, or if you can use an anti-glare screen protector to avoid this, so we avoid eye strain when using these devices. So here are some examples of poor and proper tablet and phone postures. So when you can, you should always make an effort to keep your device high enough to avoid hunching forward. So here we are looking at someone doing it in a standing position, holding the tablet up, so we have that. Obviously that can become tiresome, so consider sitting with your tablet and using a desk or stand, or if you have to sit on, say, a couch or in bed, stands are best, but you can also use things like books or pillows to help you prop up the device to the right height, just as you can see in this image. And though it may feel okay to prop yourself up when you're using a tablet, it's always better to adjust the device rather than to adjust yourself to the device. So see in this example to the right, someone's lying down and using multiple pillows to prop up their head so they can see the device. Whereas in the second image, they've used a stand resting on their chest so that they can keep proper aligned back posture while lying down and still being able to look at their device. Now, when we were talking about a lot of this, I talked about stands and different ergonomic devices you can use to make this happen. So what are those devices? So computer mouses are really key to proper computer ergonomics. proper work chairs with back support are great, footrests and computer stands. So mouses, any mouse will take the strain off of your wrist caused by a trackpad, but some mouses are relatively flat, but an ergonomic mouse holds your hand in a more natural position. See the angled one on the right side here. That can reduce wrist strain even more, so consider one like that. But those ones can be more expensive, so if you're just looking for a basic mouse, a flat one, that still really will help with wrist strain, especially over using a trackpad, or if you're using a tablet doing more touchscreen stuff. Chairs. A good ergonomic chair should provide the following: adjustable features to fit your body, so height, backrests, and armrests that are all adjustable, proper depth and height so your legs aren't hanging or jutting off the seat and not being supported, good lumbar support, and arm rests. Stands. Laptop and tablet stands are a great way to compensate for the low angle. Like I said, especially tablets, phones, laptops sit lower down. A desktop computer may be lifted higher up, so stands are going to be really crucial for those things. But if you opt for a stand that angles your keyboard, you may need to make use of an external keyboard so you don't strain your wrist. So you can see this stand on the right is really great for bringing our screen higher up so we're not straining our eyes or leaning over to see it. But that angle of the keyboard that it's creating is going to be really problematic for proper wrist posture. So if you're using a stand like that, that's when you may want to implement the use of an external keyboard. Now, buying all of these different products to make sure you have proper ergonomics can be expensive. It can get expensive, truthfully. So if you don't right now have the funds to do so, or you want to get one or two things and then kind of hack your way around the rest, great ways to do that are to stack books. So the picture to the right is kind of a funny one, but it's a good example here. You can stack books to raise up the height of your device, or else you use stack books to lean your tablet or phone against. I do this often in lieu of a stand. In this case, you can use your ironing board or kitchen counter to make a makeshift standing desk. As I said, you shouldn't be sitting for more than 50 minutes at a time, so it's good if you need to still remain on your computer after that period to adjust to a standing position for periods, so you have kind of changing body positions. Use pillows if you're on a bed or on the couch to heighten up your device, or use pillows when you're sitting on a chair that may not have proper lumbar support to create makeshift lumbar support. And turn on more lights. So if it is really dark where you are, you can adjust your screen to be more dim so you don't strain your eyes, but the ideal conditions would be that you'd be sitting in a well-lit room. So when possible, make sure you're in a well-lit room when you're using devices. And take breaks. Really, this is really very important and key. As I said, you can have the best posture and sitting posture in the world, but staying in one position for long periods of times is going to be harmful no matter what. So do take breaks, take frequent breaks every 20 to 30 minutes or so. If possible, stand up, move away from your computer, walk around a little, stretch your arms and back, let your eyes relax their focus. You can look at something that's further away in the distance to relax it from that close-up focus that you've probably been holding for a very long time. And do another activity, eat a snack, drink some tea, write or doodle, read a book, have a conversation with someone. Just do something to remove yourself from your device, take a break, and do a bit something different with your eyes, with your body, and all of that. All right, that was Computer Ergonomics 101. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions about this topic, about any of the products we talked about and where you can get those, any questions at all, you can always call us at Cyber Seniors toll free at 1-844-217-3057, or you can visit our website at www.cyberseniors.org. And once again, this webinar was proudly sponsored by Breezeline, and you can visit them online at www.breezeline.com. All right, thanks for listening, and see you next time.